kind of piggybacking off this 3 days and 3 games and 10 days stuff, week 15 and week 17. That's where I'm going to go with this, but you guys may have something else to say about this. But what do the schedule makers get wrong when you look at the schedule this year, especially after what we talked about last year towards the end of the season, where we were playing games against teams who had full weeks to prepare, or we were playing with short weeks? What I thought there would be kind of a correction to what happened to us at the end of the season, but it seems like there was not really a correction with that. They actually ended up making us have 3 games back to back where we're playing on less days than our opponents. So it's crazy. But JD, what do you got to say? And also the health risk behind this too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's really what it boils down to me, is really what you're putting this team in jeopardy for. These are hard. Cleveland, Houston, and Pittsburgh. I mean, these are hard games, hard hitting teams. It's hard defenses. And so, guys are going to be sore. Trying to recover and recuperate in that amount of time, man, is going to be tough to do. But like Teja said, if anybody can do it, the Chiefs will. Okay, the Chiefs going to learn how. They can do it. I think Andy will do a good job as far as trying to manage the guys that he need to. Cleveland, I mean, man, this is the end of the season too. That's what I don't like about it. It's just, when you need guys to be healthy going into the playoffs and whatnot. I mean, it's vital. You don't want to, you don't want to give up to something like that. And you got 2, 3, 4 AFC games. Oh man.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know how they got to this. Really, I don't know how they validate, justify, say, well, the Chiefs, this looks fine. This looks okay. There's nothing wrong with this. Somebody should have protested and say, hey, man, listen, this is not fair. Like, y'all could have chose somebody else. I get, us being victims to our own, success and whatnot, but y'all got to take care of us too, right? There has to be somebody that's going to be able to stand up on the table for us and saying, like, look, man, trying to load these guys with all of this physicality in these amount of days shouldn't happen, especially a team that's world champs. And so I don't like this at all. I don't like it at all. My thing is, the only way you can manage something like this, obviously you got you're practicing when you play the game, guys, you immediately go to the field, okay? And you just kind of go through what you have to work on. You got to work on your own stuff. You game plan. I mean, during this offseason, they've been game planning. They game planning already. But, immediately when you go in, what you have to do. And like I said, man, and Teja was saying, man, Houston and Pittsburgh are easily teams that are right there. So we're trying to jockeying for positions in the playoffs and whatnot. Like, all these things are vital games, to each and every team they playing, man. That's why I don't like it. So,
Teja.
Well, especially after last year, where I believe we had the most disadvantageous schedule and still won, you think we should be rewarded with like pulling it back? It seems like the NFL was like, "Oh yeah, show off. Well, let's take it. Let's turn it up 5 notches then. Let's see how you do with 3 games in 10 days then."
Yeah.
And the next year we'll have like 3 games in like 7 days. So I don't know where that stops. It's like it's almost like we need to go to like a NBA like load management for a back-to-back.
Right.
Like that's how bad. It's like a back-to-back is what it is. It's like 3 games in like 5 days in the NBA.
No doubt.
It's pretty crazy. And I get we're the team that attracts a lot of new demographics and new viewers. But if our play suffers because of it, then is it worth it for them? If our play is suffering to the point where we're not putting out a good product, and you're, Netflix spending $150 million per game or whatever the ridiculous number is, like, are you going to be pissed off? Like, well, what good's the Chiefs if they're like, lunch meat by the time they get to us? Like, well, I want a fresh team. I don't want this. I want a team that's ready and prepared for this game.
Mm-hmm.
So they're paying for the best of the Chiefs, not the possible worst of the Chiefs.
Absolutely. You don't want these guys limping in at any point where somebody's banged up or a little bit, right? And you're just kind of taking advantage of it because the schedule in itself puts you in that, the fate of it. That's, and I just, man, because now we're at the end of the season. I'm going to tell you how we approach it. Dick Vermeil's a little bit different. Oh, man. But we would, to start sitting guys back, okay? You've had a long season. Start taking some of the plays off for guys to start getting in. This be for the younger guys to kind of get, their all their practice time in. But these guys, I mean, they're in the ice tub. They're in their backs are hurting. They're taking medicine. Like, your sleep is not the same anymore. And this is where, like, the bumps and the bruises. So I'm thinking about a 35-year-old Travis Kelce, okay? Hopefully Chris Jones stays healthy the entire time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're talking about a guy who's got double team more than anybody else in the league, and this is what we got to go up against. So we seen how tired he was, in the playoffs when, hey, we need one more from you, right? Chris is like, oh, gosh, okay. Charles will be back by that time. But you're relying on the younger guys to kind of come in, and hopefully they've been able to grow, get some depth to them, where they can take some reps, because it is load management.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it has to be.
We might see that in the NFL finally, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what other approach you have to. I mean, shoot, I'm not going. You think I'm gonna throw Travis Kelce in there and have him play every snap and every down in these 3 games?
Now with the playoffs around the corner.
Whoa, never.
Unless we need those games because we, lost some games we shouldn't have lost. Then
right.
we're just, all right, guys, sorry, man. Hey, and maybe they're telling their team that early on the season. Hey, guys, when we play 3 games in like 8 days later on in the season, I want to be able to rest you a little bit. So win these damn games now, so we can have those games to take off a little bit later on in the season.
Right.
Sorry.
Charles Driver said it right there. Injuries at that time of the year is murder. We got screw injuries killing us in the Super Bowl. I don't want to remember that. That's true. Man.
And it's bullshit, because how is Kelce going to make some of Taylor Swift's concerts?
Yeah,
he's got no time off here.
Yeah, how's he gonna get on the private jet, the PJs flying out there?
This is crap.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact they're playing on every day of the week next year besides Tuesday is kind of wild.
Yeah.
I mean, and also too, like, we played on our Christmas Day last year, and now we're playing on also too. I'm thinking about the Chief and our episode schedules next year. It's gonna be all over the place, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Our post game shows Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, all over the place.
Putting those calendars to work.
But like, I think it's interesting how like it's kind of what you in your opener where you talked about like the NFL is trying to find ways to put us on TV and make these things exclusive to. If you want,
we're being pimped out.
Yeah.
No, that's what it is. We're being pimped out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a world tour.
Right. Give me one more performance. I just need one more dance. Like, geez. Okay.
I'm surprised they also didn't throw us in other countries while we're at it.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Maybe that was it. Maybe we're like, all right, you got. We're gonna screw you in scheduling, or we put you international. You pick. What do you want? What would you rather have?
Man, there'd be no way. There'd be no way I'd go for it. I'm like, I don't care what we need to do, but we got to switch that up.
Yep.
DeMonte Green Bean says, now, JD, if they run the slate on the schedule, what can anyone else say about this team? Seems as if the throne is afoot. I can't say anything. We're talking about a juggernaut of a schedule. Probably the toughest that you'll see to get to the 3-peat. You'll have to give this team, Patrick Mahomes, those guys, you had to give them their flowers. You had to sit there and say, man, this is the team, a dynasty of the ages. They're right up there with all the best of. First off, they're going to do something that nobody else will be able to do. So they're going to go on history for one. But this has to be the greatest run in the history of football, I would say.
Yeah.
For the simple fact, because you had to take everything in factor, right? Maybe I'm being hyperbolic, but I think you had to consider this. You had to consider it, right? Especially sitting there saying these 3 games like it is, and what guys had to run through. Heck, they kept throwing people up, like you said, Marcus. Heck, you throw Joe Burrow up, he's the next guy. Justin Herbert, he's the next guy, right? Josh Allen, he's the next guy. Where's Aaron Rodgers at? He's the next. I mean, everybody is supposed to beat the Chiefs, and it never happened. Just never happens. So, I'll say that. So,
I do think with the load management stuff you guys are talking about, and DeMonte Greens, they can load manage early. I do think if this is the case, especially going towards the end of the season, if we are winning games, even if we're like beating teams by 3 possessions with like a quarter left, I could see them starting to spell guys a little bit more, kind of like rest guys. We're up 3 touchdowns, about 10 minutes left in the game. I could see them like Andy spelling our guys. When it gets to that point, with 3 scores, it may not seem like enough, but like 3 scores, we're about to play this 3 games in 10-day window. Like, all right, let's get it out. Or we come out on fire first half, take care of business, where it's like, we put it out of reach, and then you start spelling guys from the halftime on out. I mean, I think we will see that maybe a more of an emphasis on the first half of taking care of business from the gate, not playing these 4-quarter comeback, but kind of things with Pat, like we tend to do, where we try to keep it close in the first half, and in the second half we take it up a notch. I think we're gonna have to ignite it in some way.
If you do, I think you have to pick and choose the games that you do it in, right? I don't know if you could do it early, because I still don't think that will change the outcome toward later on. Because it's not really about just the load management early. I'm thinking it's just about the type of physical demands that you have to do later anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, well, shoot, we're fine early, and we take them out. You still got to go through this juggernaut at the end of the game, at the end of the season. You still got to get beat up toward the end. And so, like you said, if we're wherever we are as far as wins and losses, and it's vital that now all of a sudden, like, we got to play.
Yeah.
Do you spend a Travis Kelce at the end just to get into the playoffs? Now he's spent. Like, shoot, now you done crushed the guy. You know what I mean? Just to get in. So I don't know, man. I just I get that part. I get, maybe doing it because we have a capable guy in Carson Wentz. Okay. All right. We got capable tight ends.
We have depth.
We got depth.
We have depth all over the field.
We do. So that is without a doubt a possibility. But like you said, man, we gotta shoot. It's got to be 3 touchdowns or better, and 4th quarter you got to have a commanding lead. So
I think it has to be emphasis this year of getting on teams early, because I mean, too many times the last few years, it's like we like playing these close games, so we have to pick it up at the end. It's like, nah, now with the schedule that they're giving us at the end of the season, guys, we need to like get on teams right out the gate. Don't play around with anybody. Get on them right out the gate.
Amenahu and Rice will be nice and rested and fresh.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, get them back in rhythm where they need to be. So there is a way. There is a way. So
Hi everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.